I'm going to call the Honourable Order. I'm going to call the Honourable Enid King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, that was a disgraceful speech. A disgraceful speech when the minister's sitting in the House who could have given a reasoned response to a bill that has had a lot of work put into it, a lot of consultation, and in fact, if you read the history of this bill being put together and who has been consulted on it, you will know that it's being supported by a wide range of the very people the National Party go and ask for donations from. And it's treated tonight by that disgraceful display of was just vitriol. Just vitriol. And what did we get? Talking about as if it was an immigration bill. The member had not even read the bill. He hadn't read the bill. It was a disgrace. And then he said one of the reasons they wouldn't support it was because it breached human rights. Well, did you think about that when you passed the bill about adult carers of disabled people? It breached the human rights. Your own Attorney General said so. Did that stop them from passing a bill that has been an absolute failure for people who are disabled in New Zealand having to have adult carers? Yes, there's a word for it. It starts with H. Mr. Speaker, this bill is a bill that is worthy of consideration and will be given it by this party, the Labour Party. It'll not only be given consideration, but in government, should we be in government with the New Zealand First Party, we would look to see how we could implement parts of this bill and we would work on other parts of it. Because it's the first real try to do something for old people in New Zealand who have increasingly lost their medical insurance at the age of 65. If that member was any sort of constituency MP, he would have been to his grey power meetings. Has he been to a grey power meeting? If he'd been, they would have raised this bill with them. Because if he'd been to grey power, if he'd held constituency clinics, he would have had older people over 65 coming to him and say, we used to have medical insurance. We took it out when we were 30. And we were well for most of our lives. We hardly claimed anything. But when we reached 65, the premiums on our medical insurance were so sky high we had to get rid of it. We are now on a fixed income, we have no medical insurance, and we're on the never for our hip replacement. This bill puts up a suggestion that there be what is the equivalent of a rebate of $500 on medical insurance. Now let's think if there's a comparison to some other policy here. Let's think about the rates rebate, for example, brought in by a very good Labour government. A rates rebate that says for older New Zealanders, rates can get a bit high. And working through local government, you can apply to get up to, it's over 500 now I think, 600 in a rates rebate. Helps those older people pay their rates. So this suggestion is that there is a rate type rebate on their medical insurance. Is that a stupid idea? Is that not worthy of consideration and sending it to a select committee? The second issue that is raised in this bill is around fringe benefit tax. Fringe benefit tax, Mr. Speaker, and I find it fascinating that the Prime Minister said that he supported this part of the bill. Did he not tell the National Party? He actually said it out in the Hutt Valley. He said he came out in support for removing fringe benefit tax from health insurance. I've got it. Shall I table this, Mr. Speaker? It is the cover story from the Health Insurance News, and I think if I was to table it, the members opposite, including Chris Bishop, who prances round the hut thinking he's Mr. Hutt, maybe he'd like to read what the Prime Minister said about the removal of fringe benefit tax. Yes, I will. I'll seek leave in a moment to table it. Mr. Speaker, the other part of this bill, and my colleague Clayton Cosgrove will speak on this, and it is around the issue of medical insurance for people coming to New Zealand. And he was a former Minister of Immigration, and he'll give an insight of how things did work when he was Minister. So why shouldn't we support this bill to a select committee and let those hundreds of older people who want to have a say have a say? What a disgrace from the National Party.